as long as I could to make sure.
Jay, push your button.
Hi. What?
Atlantic City Electric.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't started yet.
Oh, yeah.
Now push your button.
Local government representative. And, since that's their digest,
Right,
and we have another idea that we're willing to listen.
okay. Because none of these trees would be good for sidewalk, street lawn trees.
So, what they also say is, if we were to give them
List.
our own likes, our own desires, that they would ask that, we choose something with a mature growth height of 25 feet or less. Limited to what local nurseries have in stock, but we know that. Keep in mind saltwater flooding, tree treatments by climate. Would also recommend that we not plant them near a pole, remembering that it's Atlantic City Electric. You'll need to clear a minimum of 10 feet radius around an entire pole whenever they replace a pole. So we
Yes.
stay away from those. And then, like you said, the timing would be spring and fall, or when they get their deliveries, and, they would prefer fall. So I just wanted to let you know that if you go off of, if you choose something not on that list,
Okay,
let me know, I'll send it out, but it should be something that has a mature growth height of 25 feet or less.
25 feet or less, okay. So that lets out, you know, like locusts or sycamores or elms and chestnut trees and all that stuff.
You gotta also realize that you have to have road clearance. What is it? Road clearance? No, what's for the trucks and
trees.
stuff, the clearances? That's like 13 or 14 feet over the street, so you're only looking at 11 feet of canopy
Right.
in a tree that matures at 25 feet, so, yeah, it's not very much.
I think it's 13 feet. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, put your microphones on. Everybody got your microphones on? In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Please rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, George. Hey, George.
You get the truancy chair.
Carol, will you do the minutes?
Oh, I thought you
Will
were,
you do the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So then,
Thanks.
call the roll, please.
Jay Schatz.
Here.
Fiore Manella. Barbara Preminger.
Here.
George Hator. Carol York.
Carol York is
Pass.
excused.
Here.
Carol Sick.
here.
Ruth Ann Stewart.
She has a document.
And Ron Manier.
And she's absent.
And Shane Meyer.
Okay, minutes from April 12th meeting. You should have in your folder. Take a minute and look through those. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the April 12th meeting as presented, or harbor any additions or corrections? Yes,
I'll make a
Mark?
motion to approve.
I can second that.
Second.
I can second.
Barbara, okay, Mark, approval. Barbara, second.
Right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, passed, thank you. Arbor Day Celebration. We had a lovely celebration last Friday at the elementary school. We had almost a whole school out there, all 6 grades. It was really, really a nice presentation.
Beautiful
We
day.
planted a golden maple, right? Golden maple in the back, out by the windmill or by the power generator in the back of the school. And it was a really nice presentation. And I forgot to do it, but you took some pictures, correct?
I did, and I don't know how to send them from my iPhone.
Maybe the store and wave.
Pardon?
Maybe send some to the store and wave.
No, she doesn't. That problem is, I don't know how to send them from my iPhone either.
Neither do I.
I'll get it to you
I
after
know
the
how
meeting.
Okay,
As a text message.
Carol can do it.
Carol can do it, okay.
I think so. I have an iPhone.
So we want to have those pictures on file with Nancy.
Okay.
So we can include them for the application for Tree City USA. We got our, and thank you, Fiore, for putting the 40-year Tree USA things on our Tree City USA things, both at West Perry Street and also coming into town from Lafayette.
Thank you.
Pardon, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
There was an Arbor Day sign that got knocked down, but it's over in Lower Township. They thought it was, whenever it was ours, it was like a Tree City USA sign, but it was over there by like the Lucky Bones over that way. Someone had knocked it down.
That's
So
not
we
ours.
don't have signs outside of
No,
Right.
that's theirs.
Lower Township.
It must be, it's not
No,
ours.
they don't even have a shade tree condition.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
That sign. Looks like one of our signs was been hit by a car over there by
Wow.
Well, we have a second one. There's a second one on Lafayette Street, isn't there?
Sydney.
Sydney.
Sydney Street,
Yeah,
okay.
but this was a third one.
Okay, I don't,
Outside the town. It was on the road coming into town.
I don't remember
I
that.
know, I
now?
used
Do
to
you know?
notice
We have
that, and I didn't know that
Lower Township was like, we know it was ours or theirs or.
they're not
Doesn't
Tree
have-
City.
The last sticker had a sticker on it said 31 years, it said.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was 9 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, it was outside, it's out. It was on-
Probably blew out of somebody's yard. All this wind.
Seen it over there.
But I mean, we usually didn't have that. I never put a sticker on it 'cause it was like,
Jefferson Street, Barbara denied it because we couldn't figure out what the heck they were talking about. I did meet them last week, and we worked it out, and I'm going to let them take one large Leland Cypress Street is pretty close to the foundation of the gift shop. This is, Jefferson Street is the spa, the day spa, and right next to it is the gift shop. The lady who put the application in owned the gift shop, but the trees are on, one tree is on her property. In fact, both trees, all 3 trees are on her property. One is is a kind of a fall-down tree, and it was less than 6 inches. So I didn't charge for that one, but the other tree, again, is an overgrown Leland cypress tree that really looks pretty bad. So I charged him $75 for each of the cypress trees. We've had one tree in the wind, and it was 1017 New Jersey Avenue, but it was on private property. And I dealt with Larick's Tree Service. They're in there now taking the tree down. I said, you don't have to bother submitting any paperwork. The tree, big branches split off of the tree, and it was laying on the neighbor's house. And the tree was, where it came off, there was less than half of the tree left on there, so I said, you better take the whole thing down.
Where
And
was
it
this?
was 1017 New Jersey. It was a Bradford pear, a big Bradford pear. It was a 12 or 13 inch diameter tree. It was a nice sized tree. But there's another one right next to it that seems to be intact. But this one was the one furthest to the north.
We had 2 of the new trees that were planted in the fall.
Yes.
They blew over. They're not out of the ground, but they blew over.
So is,
since Matt Notch planted them,
yes.
I messaged him and said they probably need to be staked. I don't know that he charged for that, because they took the form out.
Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't.
Well, then that has to be submitted as a,
Well, let's see if he'll do it, if he'll stake the tree without anything.
two of them.
Atlantic Electric,
I got in touch with Atlantic City Electric because.
here's a list of the trees that they will provide.
Well, I spoke to, the assistant.
Manager,
Yeah.
yes. Lou
Velasco.
Velasco.
But anyway, I spoke to him, and he told me that the trees that we planted in the fall.
Yes.
So,
I mentioned that to him, and I said, well, this comes as a surprise to us. If I knew he was gonna do that, we would have ordered 3 times as many trees.
exactly. So now he said they will pay if we plant some in the spring.
They will,
But I
if,
talked to him about some of these species. I mean, some of them aren't even trees.
no, I don't,
Azalea, burning bush, I mean,
they're not, You-
But the other thing is, some of these trees that they recommend, they don't do well. Like even service berry's gotta be far enough away from the open. You would think it would do well. They do well in West Cape May, but we had them planted on Gurney Street, and, they were dead within like 3 years.
yeah.
They just burned right out, I guess from the salt spray or whatever. And then he did mention, that he would prefer to have them planted in parks rather than in tree lawns, but we don't.
We don't-
have parks.
Yeah, we got plenty of parks, but we don't usually plant trees in there.
Well, we have Rotary Park, we have no domain over that.
Right.
Then we have.
Harbor View Park
Harborview
and
Park, they don't want
Kiwanis Park.
trees 'cause it obstructs their view.
Right.
And then what other,
Kiwanis.
those other
We have
parks?
Kiwanis Park, we do, we do, yeah, that's a-
Massachusetts and
Yeah, I mean, we have enough room for about 3 trees in those parks, that's about.
the little triangular parks,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, there's not a lot of them, and then the Kiwanis Park is, we have about 12 trees in that one.
there at the
Yes.
point of Pennsylvania, Michigan, there's a little wedge
Yeah.
that we own there.
Yeah.
We still got some room in there. But now, what Lou just said, Lou Velasco just said, Atlantic Electric, we tell them what kind of trees we want. I mean, bigger trees that we can put in street lawns area, they'll pay for those too. But we have to submit that to them, so start thinking about I want to get something in the ground or something done on this before Memorial Day.
What about the little flowered or areas where you turn like on Sydney off of Lafayette, that the city just had to rebuild,
A
where
little
they,
triangle there.
yeah.
It's run
How about-
over every,
Can you put a tree there?
I don't think you want trees in there.
I don't even want flowers there. But as soon as you turn your back, you get run
When,
over.
I know.
when the city workers have to get in there and plant flowers with traffic ripping around both sides of them, they get a little nervous.
Life out
I
there.
don't blame them.
Did they go through the fence too, this time?
I heard so.
I thought I saw the hole in the fence
Probably,
again.
the thing is a mess. You just got done putting and planting it. It's just-
Yeah, it's terrible.
I told them, give up, just concrete the thing.
Artificial flowers.
No, it's just concrete.
Welcome to Cape May.
Let it drive over the concrete.
Yeah.
But the county has the signs there.
Which end of town? By Seaview?
Right.
Okay.
On that corner, on that curve, the city at one time had planted all redbud trees. They planted about, I think there were like 7 or 8. I think there's one left.
By the tuna club?
Yeah.
Is this the one by the Tuna Club, you mean? Yeah, there's evergreens in there.
No irrigation?
What?
There's no irrigation there.
No irrigation in there, and at a full moon high tide. Even though it doesn't show up on the street, the salt water comes up through the ground, up within about 4 inches of the top of the
It was
ground.
flooded the other day.
Yeah.
And the redbuds, we planted them down on the flagpole too. And on Congress, they're all gone. One's left. They don't do well. That's another one we have on this list. But anyway, we can plant it there maybe, but I don't even know what kind of tree you put in there. You'd have to put like a sweet gum or something that's tolerant to, marshland, maybe like black gum.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we could try to put some in at the end to up there.
But the irrigation used to come off that island and cut it off on the curve there, nothing gets watered there on the curve.
Where?
But the tuna club,
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
those,
the only thing that's in there now that seems to be doing well, been in there for several years, is those evergreen trees. I don't know what they are.
They're working on birds, spruce,
Spruce?
yeah.
Oh, they get big, they're bush?
They eventually grow, like I had them on in Pennsylvania, they were like 12 years old now.
They
George,
also get several different, spider mites and.
how about the, the crepe myrtles that are the tree variety, one
Oh, the single trunk crepe myrtle.
single trunk, how the Star of the Sea,
Yes.
all those along there?
Also, there's a couple on Indiana Avenue street trees that I gave for the owner permission.
They seem to be doing very well. I don't know how they are with salt water, but
How about,
Even on the beachfront.
Yeah.
how about
I've
a,
got some right next to me that they put on their property, and they're doing great.
Yeah.
The guys go back and they trim them back each year.
Yeah.
got crepe myrtles in front of Convention Hall there.
how about a river
Well, that's
birch?
a single trunk.
River birch, we have those in our yard, and it gets wet where our yard is, and they've done really well.
Single trunk crepe myrtles is a good street tree, the single trunk.
You're gonna get some flowers, make things look a little nice down there.
Yeah.
Put one on Jackson Street, and that's doing well. In front of the puff, what used to be the puffin, or one of those.
Isn't that the place, oh, that was the Prince George or King George Inn, where that tree, we can't figure out, that's in your district,
Right,
can't figure out
talking
why
about
that
Yeah.
that big
I
tree
don't know
disappeared.
Whoever did that.
in front of the Prince George or King George, there's a large tree that disappeared from in front of that, on street tree. It was, concrete all around the tree. I don't know how it got,
About the crimson maple. There
No.
were 2 crimson maples there, and one was taken down. I called Nancy about that, she said they were given permission.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it either. That's my area.
That was your district, that, that you must have approved it. I said, well, I didn't know.
No, they asked me that last meeting, and I didn't hear anything about it.
That's another thing I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you remember, but about 5 or 6 years ago, we had a large locust tree on North Street,
Okay,
which was my district. It was a street tree, and the roots were, locust tree roots.
right.
They go everywhere. But that tree was probably about 80 years old and more. It was a huge tree. But we voted on it as a body because it was a street tree. And I said to preserve it, but, the majority vote was to take it down. So what I thought would be, maybe it would be, beneficial for us to do is as a body, vote as a group for any, if it's a street tree that would have to come down, if it's not dead.
Right,
Because otherwise, it kind of, a street tree is a lot different than a tree on private property. It's a public,
right away, yeah.
and, I think it would be better, it's not just fall on one person's shoulders to make that kind of decision to use a street tree.
Well, that doesn't, usually when something like that comes up, it's pretty much of a known fact that the tree might be hazardous. I mean, not just digging up the sidewalk, because all our mature trees are gonna do that. They're gonna affect the sidewalk. This is why we had that 50/50 program in, to allay some of the expense of the homeowners, but save the tree. And the concrete guys, well, 2 people we normally use, know to call us for root trimming, or they give, maybe trim a little bit of the roots away so as not to destabilize the tree, or kill the tree, before they lay their concrete. But so, that's not really much of a factor.
Right, but I'm just talking about it in general.
Yeah.
Any street tree, I think it would be a good idea.
Anybody else have any thoughts or comments about that?
I think it's good. I think you're right on with that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea myself, because, like what I had with the tree on Jefferson Street, I couldn't really determine it, and Jay was over there, and he had to meet a second time. He went one time, then we had to go a second time, because they contested it and found out that it was like, so everybody has a little different opinion sometimes, and it might be not
Yeah,
a
don't-
bad idea for other people to be involved with that one person just.
So do we have to vote on that? Should I make it?
No, we can agree, we can agree ourselves that we'll bring up to a general vote any removal of a street tree that might have to come out for one reason or another. Also, don't be afraid to say no, you district commissioners. Don't be afraid to say no. If the homeowner really objects to it, believe me, they'll come back to us, and we'll,
The
you know, to
homeowner, well,
revisit
who
the
would
thing.
request it? Us?
Pardon?
Who would request it?
The homeowner. If we say no to a private property tree,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
To a,
I'm getting a reputation for always saying no. I don't always say no, but
yeah, no, don't be afraid
Are
to
you
say,
talking
don't be
about-
afraid to say no.
Are
That
you
was
talking
Jay,
about a
many
street
years,
tree
Mr. No.
Private property tree.
private,
for the most part.
general
All
vote
the
for removal of a
organizations say,
private
just say no,
property
but
tree?
we say no.
now,
Okay.
as long as we're talking about street trees, I think one thing about too. First of all, there's one right in front of, what is it called, Washington? You know, on Washington Street, across from PNC Bank, those apartments, the top of Washington Crossing.
Yeah.
There's a dead, crimson king maple there, and it's just got one little tiny branch that's got leaves, the rest of it was declining last year, so it's like 90% dead.
Where is this?
On Washington Street.
Yes.
In front of the Washington
But
Crossing.
what street across from where the?
Washington.
Madison.
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 Okay, yeah, the inn of the park.
Across the street from it.
It's next to the Webster House.
900 block.
Oh, that's your house, okay.
Next
Yeah.
door to the Webster House.
Front of
Park.
Madison.
Webster House on the
Right.
corner,
Oh, yeah, we
Next
had
to
a
the
lot of stuff
PC
with the
Bank?
apartments a couple
across the
years ago.
street.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
For the apartment building.
Yes. There's an apple, right,
And there's an apple tree on the other corner that's almost
Yeah.
dead too.
yeah, but that,
You can save that.
well, that's still, every once in a while, I'm coming up there, I stop for the light, I go off in this late spring or the fall and pick up apples. Yeah, that's still throwing apples.
Street gotta be 120 years old.
So you think that tree is dead?
Which?
The one,
The crimson maple?
yeah.
Yeah.
Ron, you want to take a look at that?
Okay. I'll remember.
And that apple tree, if you want to try to save it, I think we should plant that at the,
You know where that is? Right by the lamplighter apartment.
I know
Lamplighter
exactly where that apple tree's at.
apartment. Pardon?
I don't know why they planted an apple.
Tree there now.
Also, there's the new house that went in on Massachusetts Avenue,
Okay.
where
Clint, or,
Ev and Nev used to live, that little house. They took that rancher down and put up that two-story, a really nice two-story house with the roof. There's two trees, you face the house. The one to the right doesn't seem to be, it's got a lot of fungus on it, and doesn't seem to be getting any blossoms on it. Would you take a look at that tree and give us advice on that? I hate to take that down, because he did it, when he put the sidewalk in, the owner put the sidewalk in, he did a little oval around the tree, but that tree looks like it's not getting any buds.
okay.
Pardon?
From Massachusetts, you see?
That's Massachusetts Avenue, yeah. Yes, I'm sure it's Mass. Oh, maybe it's Michigan.
Across from Mark Lemonion's house?
Yes.
That's Illinois.
No, not that
No,
far.
that's,
That new house?
You're across from Mark Lemonion's house, but oh, yeah.
That's Illinois Avenue.
That's Illinois Avenue, runs in right across the street from his house.
Yeah, but I think that's still Michigan Avenue right there.
I know where you're talking about, though.
Yeah,
I'll look
but I
at it.
think Illinois Avenue comes down a little bit further to the east.
No, it's right there. That's Illinois.
Okay.
Michigan and Illinois come together, like right there.
Right there. Oh, you know where it is?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Ron, excuse me, did you trim a tree on North Street? You know they're renovating those two houses on North Street, they're up in the air. And there's a pin oak that's planted under the wires, which is the wrong species. But it was like declining last year. Somebody trimmed it, they did a nice job trimming it, but I was like, I wonder if it was a homeowner that had it done.
Sometimes that happens.
I'm surprised they would trim, take the money to spend on trimming
Yeah.
a street tree, but whoever did it,
Nice job.
nice job with it. I don't know,
Okay,
Oh, the pin oak, it's a pin oak, yeah, we took the dead knoll out of it. Yeah, it was declining back quite a bit, yeah. Yeah, where they elevated the house. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
and Ron,
One on Congress Street, I know you did already take some off
Yeah.
the ground, do you think we should take any more off?
I think if you take any more, it's gonna be detrimental to the trees. That tree's been leaning like that since Hurricane Gloria, so.
Wow.
But I just, just try to keep that home.
Yeah. Well,
And
sometimes that doesn't work out too well.
Ron had a question or a situation at 1352 Ohio Avenue concerning a lady that claimed that her insurance company was going to cancel her insurance because they wanted a tree trimmed, a street tree trimmed back away from her house. We did that once before, but then she came back and said they need more taken back. Ron showed pictures of it, and that tree is so far back from the house that the tree would have to fall over.
Yeah, after the lady notified them that she was told by her insurance company if she didn't trim the tree back, they were going to drop her insurance. I called her and asked her for a copy of it and got silence all of a sudden. And then she says, well, I didn't, she said, I called my broker, and after I told my broker that the tree's overgrowing on my house, he told me, well, if you don't take it down, the insurance company's going, if you don't trim it back, the insurance company's going to drop it. So she didn't actually get anything from the insurance company. She was talking to her broker. Yeah, and the broker was like, well, if I listen to your explanation of it, I took a measure tape out there today, and the closest branch is over 25 feet away from her house. So it's not growing over her house. And I think doing any more, we already pruned it back once from over a yard. At that point, it was about 10 feet from her house. I think if we go any more, it would be detrimental to the tree and put all the weight on the street side. And it's a big old mature silver maple tree, so I think it would be a bad idea to do anything.
Okay. Does anybody have anything more for the good of the order?
Well, what if anything have we decided with that ordinance that we talked about with the Westgate Maine shade tree ordinances?
I had thought that Mr. Hoffman was going to come today and wanted to talk to him about it. He's the Shade Tree Commissioner from West Cape, Maine. Wayne. But I'm going to take their ordinance and our ordinance, and I'm going to contact the city attorney who wrote those up and have him write a proposal up to combine the two ordinances. And we can then have something to look at and something to present to city council for a change.
What are they doing over there?
I wanted to go from 6 inches. This is on private property trees. I wanted to go from 6 inches, which we have now, with no limit on the amount of $75 we could charge for a clear cut, for a lot of trees to come down, and to go down to 3 inches. And Ron indicated that he didn't.
If you go down to 3 inches, you're talking about yew, which is actually a tree by definition. Crepe myrtles are actually, you're getting into a lot of things. Azalea is actually a tree by the thing that's planting there. That any 3 inches, I think, is way too small. I mean,
But I just think that their fines and things are much more stringent, and I think it's much
well,
more.
they pursue their fines, which we don't pursue our fines here.
The problem is, we just had that incident go on 10 North Street. The guy came, they own several properties, right, in that same neighborhood. Came and he wanted to remove all the trees. And I said, you can take down the arborvitae, they're small enough, they don't matter. There was a huge convolute fir right next to the side of the alpine.
This is 10 North Street.
Yeah, it's on the side of the alpine. And, which was camouflaging that ugly fire escape on the alpine. But they wanted it down, they wanted to make the thing wider, and it was not in the best of health. That tree was probably about 50% green on it. So I said, take that and that, and the arborvitae, if you have a mature holly tree, a mature cedar tree, and they need to be preserved. 5 days later, there wasn't a tree left on the lot. So I called code enforcement, they talked to tree barber, they hired, I guess, to do it. And apparently, I don't know. So what I said was, I think we should have in place, when a contractor comes to do work for private property, just like they have to go through zoning, building and such, we don't know if the homeowner's giving them the approval that we signed. So, like, I approved removal of one tree. If the homeowner gave a copy of that to the contractor, they would know that only one tree could be taken down.
Yes.
Just spruce, rather than clear cut everything. Who knows?
Right.
Now, West Cape May, their application, I just actually filled one out this morning, their application not only has to have the homeowner email and all that stuff, it has to have the contractors. It has to have his New Jersey tree care license number. It has to have his email and his address on it. So that way the contractors notice just as well as anybody else does. And that might be a good thing.
And we could amend our go-see ordinance, to have the homeowner fill out the contractor's license and not license number per se, but his contact number, so that he knows.
Well, actually having his license number on there is a good thing anyway.
Right.
So that way you don't get fly-by-nighters coming down here.
Yeah, we've had that.
Yeah.
Because we had, the one thing that came up a couple of months ago was Larick's Tree Service out of Vineland, I think they are. We busted them, I stopped, I think it was, I forget what street it was, Ohio Avenue, I believe it was. They took a big tree down in front of the house. But I asked him, do you have a contractor's license? And he said, I've been working in Cape May for years and years and years. Well, we had no record of it here, so they were very cooperative. They supplied all their particulars and their New Jersey license and their insurance information, so now they're a licensed contractor in Cape May.
Don't they also have to have a mercantile license in Cape May?
Only if you're doing commercial work.
Commercial
You're
work.
doing private person's work. I have to have it, like I told Leah, I said, well, I don't really do any commercial work. The only people I work for is the city of Cape May, and I work for private people. And she says, well, the city of Cape May is considered commercial. So I pay a license every year. But if
Because,
you're doing private work,
Well, you don't
have
need it,
commercial.
if you're doing work for private homeowners, you don't need a commercial license, do you?
No, but
I
you do
believe in
need,
a lot of instances you do.
yeah, you do need it.
Landscapers need them.
You do need it.
Landscapers,
Yeah.
they don't need a commercial license, do they?
I'm not saying a commercial license, a mercantile license.
Yes, they have to have a mercantile, all the landscapers have to have a,
They do, you do have to have a state license, though, to work anywhere in the state of New
Yeah.
Jersey.
and you have to have a municipal license.
I will give you a copy of West Cape May's application for tree removal, and you might want to alter yours a little bit to match
Okay.
that.
That's a good idea.
And that has all the stuff for the contractor and all that. So now you're notifying both. So both of them know, so there's no excuse that ignorance is.
That would solve a lot of problems if we had that on the license. They would write down and fill out, and then we can say to the homeowner, I said, you haven't provided us with any information on who is gonna do this work.
Yeah, and.
So they know how much work they can do and how much work they can't do.
Well, the code enforcement, that I spoke to, and I forgot his name, that's one of the reasons I stopped teaching, because I kept forgetting all of his names. But anyway, I spoke to him, and he was very cooperative, and he said, the homeowner on 10 North Street agreed to pay the $75 per tree that was taken down. He said, but really, he said, I don't want to accept that. I want to have trees, put back in place. So that was his take on it. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
West Cape May, if you do that, it's a minimum of, first offense is 500 for the contractor. Second offense is 1,000. Third offense, you lose your privilege to do work in West Cape May for a year. So it's a
Yeah.
big deterrent.
Yeah, it's a big deterrent.
I'm sorry to see the tree to go down in front of Bridgetown Antiques in West Cape May. That was a nice tree in front of that little shop, and she passed away less than a year ago, and I guess Ursula, I guess, and the survivors then, the next of kin. Did they sell the house? Yeah.
But I'm surprised that West Cape May approved that, because that was huge.
It was a very big,
They must be doing some kind of construction there or something that they got approval to do that.
Planning board. Zoning board.
yeah, it was like 22, 23 inches.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I wanted to ask about, because on here it's mentioned about the Franklin Street School, but preserving that linden tree in front.
Yes.
What about all lindens on the side? Carol and I looked at that 2 years ago, before COVID, and those trees are huge. They're
Yeah,
on
there's
the-
like
they're on the,
two big ones, right?
two or three.
Closer to the Acme.
Yes, behind where the Harriet Tubman Museum.
Yeah.
And they were,
Oh,
But what are we doing with those?
I let the two trees behind the Macedonian church
Yeah.
be taken down because you couldn't get a vehicle back there. And
Get a vehicle back.
they needed to do a loop around from the Harriet Tubman Museum.
they're not the truth.
Those trees were grown into the fence.
One
No,
was
we-
thrown
no,
into
no,
the fence,
no.
the other one
They're-
wasn't.
I went with you.
I know what you're talking about. One was a mulberry, one was.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
that was near the museum. We looked at the trees near the school.
These are like 24
Where?
inches.
These are huge trees.
Yeah, and I don't know any reason why they would have to come down.
Where?
It's on the east, west side.
North
of-
side, I guess it'd be, in between, yeah, in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's south,
Closer to Lafayette.
so it would be north.
Facing the school.
The Lafayette's,
It's on the
Facing the
left.
school.
I mean, we could go over there after, we'll see them, they're big, beautiful trees, but they do have a lot of vines growing.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not gonna let them take those down.
No. Oh, in front of the school?
No, on the side.
Side. Which side is your face?
If you're looking to school, it's on the,
There's no trees there.
no, on the left.
There's one
It's on the
tree.
left. If you're looking at the school, it's on the left.
there's
We went-
trees there between,
Behind the Harriet Tubman Museum.
Yeah.
Right.
between the
but school-
Macedonian church and the Tubman Museum. There's 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 trees there. One is right in the fence.
have to show
The fence grows around it.
Yeah, that's not what I, I'm referring to the other ones. and
The
they're
other
nice
ones.
sized trees. So I don't know why we would let them take that down. What I'm saying is it's not mentioned in here.
Right.
So we're saying that we want that tree in front preserved, and I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking about the Franklin Street School now?
Yes.
Okay, yes. That linden tree, and because I already sent a letter to, I don't know whether it was copied or anything. I sent a letter to Mike Califatti, who's the architect for that preservation of that school. And I told them they should be at least, it should be 26 or 27 feet diameter around that tree if it's 1 inch, 1 foot per inch of diameter. But we'll settle for 12 feet around the tree. The contractor, when he puts his scaffolding up, could cut some of those small branches off, cut them back from the tree so he can get his scaffolding up to work on the front facade, brick facade of the Franklin Street School. But he should find other places to put his construction material. To the right of the sidewalk going into the school, or beyond the 12 feet of no-go area, around that tree, or in the niche right by the entrance to the gym. There's a space in there, you could dump construction equipment.
Right.
The other thing,
Referring to different trees. I'm not talking about that tree. I'm talking about the ones on the side of the building.
In the back, on the side of the building,
on
on
the
the north
side.
side of the building.
They're on the side.
I think what, originally why it was talked about was because the guy needed to prune the tree, the one in the front. He needed to prune it back for a scaffolding. That was the whole original concept of why it was even brought up.
Okay. But
So,
they're not requesting to take down any of those trees.
no,
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
the
Not
other thing that's there,
Since they're gonna be there, can we get those lines cut off of them by Public Works?
What's the ones in the back?
Yeah,
No, they're on the,
because they're,
they were on the side. Everybody's saying the back. Yeah, I think
the
they're on the
the air conditioning
I'll
can,
show you which ones I mean.
Okay.
It was that they are on the side.
I think they are. They're between.
You're on the north side.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you're looking at the front of that school, you're looking west, the front of the school. The front of the school faces east.
so it would be on the north side, and if you're
So-
facing the
so
school.
on the
it'd
right
be
side
on
is the north
The
side.
right, because the left is the firehouse.
Right, yeah,
Okay, so it has to be on.
I could hear
Okay, next meeting, everybody bring their pocket compass.
there's 2 big air conditioning compressors right back there.
Yeah, it's near those.
We need to get the design of that school. I think there's gonna be an addition in that back area, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but this is the side.
It's gonna be, they're gonna have a mezzanine in that area, the inside of the school, and I think they're gonna do some kind of bump out there.
Back of the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that,
I have to get the plans and find
But
out.
there's-
I
They
don't
do
think
a
we-
bump out there, you're taking up a lot of ground
Yeah, I
because
don't-
there isn't much
there isn't room there.
between the the edge of the building and that fence.
Yeah.
I think you got
Yes.
20 feet.
They said, This has nothing to do with the trees. But I'm going back to Arbor Day. I think we should have in the notes that we bought books for that school library. And we also got a donation from the Nature Center of booklets for the classrooms. But I purchased them, but, we
Yes.
paid for it. So it should be in there somewhere. That was part of the celebration.
Okay.
Also, when we were up in that meeting up in Morristown, remember the power company gave us a list of trees that they recommend?
Yes.
I don't have it with me, but there were quite a few there that they would say would be a maximum of 25 feet.
Is that this? Is this?
No,
No.
no,
No, they will,
it's a different
if
power
we
company.
submit a list
The
of other
size
trees,
them, Too.
locust
Yes.
tree,
I have it somewhere.
Yeah, we all have it. They
various
went
other
there.
types of
I
trees,
just didn't
sweet gum,
bring
stuff
it.
like this. They will look at that list and maybe approve those too. So don't let that just be your only guide. There's nothing on there that I saw we could plant.
Magnolia would be one of the few that I would even think because, these other things don't.
And it wouldn't be a good
No,
tree.
submit a list of other trees that we want to get and give it to the city, the assistant city manager, give it to Lou Belusco, and see if we get some free trees out of the deal, something.
Jay, there's another list of trees that came from the West Cape May Shade Tree Commission that was given, I got it somehow a couple years ago, and Nancy has that on the website, of trees you could plant if you're going to take out a tree in your yard, of suitable trees to plant. I don't know if that helps. That's on the website.
That's good to have.
I mean, if that has anything to do with what you need. I know that was put on there a couple of years ago, before the pandemic.
So this is West Cape May's list. That's good enough for Cape May.
Yeah.
Now, I know
That's
West
from
Cape May, I don't know what's going on with their tree commission, but there's an argument about the usages in that Wilbraham Park.
Yeah, I talked
It
to,
seems to me that they think they're in charge of what's gonna go into
Yes,
Wilbraham Park.
Exactly.
Well, the reason that is because the Wilbraham Park Festivals is what funds the Shade Tree
They run
Commission.
the festivals.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a community thing that they,
Right now, they don't even have them in the park, they have them all here.
Well,
Well, they're
they
doing-
did work there, and they want to give it a year for whatever they did
yeah,
there.
they're
So
doing,
they can alternate the Strawberry Festival 1 year, here, 1 year.
right.
they're doing the next Strawberry Festival, which is coming up very shortly. They're doing that at the Backyard Park in West Cape May, but next year,
Right.
they're gonna do it at Wilbraham, and they're gonna look at it. But frankly, I've been to several of those. I've been a participant in a couple of those, and I've been a visitor to all the rest of them. And those vendors kick the crap out of that park.
They
I
do.
mean, they beat the hell out
Well,
of it.
not to mention the traffic of people
Yeah.
stopping.
Bigger festivals, they block Myrtle Avenue.
Myrtle,
too,
yeah.
you know,
But
and they-
before that, everybody was in the park, just shoulder to shoulder to shoulder.
Well, even on Myrtle Avenue, you're shoulder to shoulder going, some of those, what do you call it, the Lima Bean
Lima Bean
Festival.
Festival, yeah, that's the big one.
All right, we done as much damage as we can today?
I got one more thing to say. You see on here, we have 1401 Idaho Ave.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's way down there across Pittsburgh. It's that low house. And I like the way the approval came for me to look at. They had all pictures of the property. They had trees that were gonna stay, those were gonna, be taken out.
right.
The house is gonna be totally demolished.
Who was the contractor?
Southwater,
Oh, Southwater, okay.
but it was very descriptive. And I put that, basically when I approved that, I referenced those pictures, so this is what you can take and this is what you can't take.
Okay.
It was very
Again,
clear.
I think we can maybe make a suggestion on our approval or request contract to say, provide pictures if you can, and with the contractor's, the contractor's name and
License.
email address.
Or are we gonna go around with spray cans,
Yeah. Yeah.
red and green?
Or orange ribbons,
Yeah,
tie on the trees.
because a lot of times after the approval and that whole thing goes forward to I guess it all goes to the construction office.
Yes,
you know?
and Karen has it up here too then. That's why I don't bother to go to construction ops anymore. She has all the sets of plans up there from the
Well, they're
zoning board.
not approving any more tree removals, are they?
No.
Well, by the way, when I spoke to, his name already went, the assistant manager,
Lou Blasco. He's also the
Assessor.
tax assessor, so you should know him.
in any case, he said that they're going to be replacing all of those brand new chairs on Lafayette Street. That, you know, along the park there.
It showed.
There's a
That
good,
they never really took off that well. They, you know, they put them, they lamped them for Christmas, they put the lights on.
okay.
So they're supposed to plant, I think he said sycamore there instead, so I think that's coming out of that,
There's no wire, there's no overhead wires on that side of the street. That's on the playground side.
Along the fence line.
and the
But
other
those-
trees that we planted in the pits
Yeah.
on that, in that whole block, I pruned all those about 3 weeks ago, I did all the pruning, because they're young enough yet for that to
Okay.
do it.
And there's also a lot of sycamore trees in the playground itself. Remember, you and I went in there and
Yeah, they
took
were kind of late blooming, remember?
late bloom, and they thought they were dead, were gonna come out.
Yeah,
I said,
and
Jesus.
5 weeks
give
later,
'em a
they're all in
chance."
leaf.
Yeah, give them a chance, and they're all thriving in there now.
Yeah.
So, I think we're,
I'll let you know that that's what he said, that
okay.
they're replacing those.
They're gonna take out the trees and put,
That's what he said. I don't know when.
You notice late blooming this year because of the cold weather?
What?
No different than any other year.
Yeah, do you know, where's things with the Lafayette Street Park? It's just all new plans are gonna be done? Because we
Right.
got, what, the police station going over there, maybe?
Yeah, we need to get the other committee back together.
Is that gonna replace the dog park?
Tonight. I'm in favor of having the police station, but they just changed all the plans for the park
And they're gonna put a parking lot there?
and a parking lot, yeah.
where? Oh, where?
If you want the entire town to flip in chaos, just mention parking garage.
Yeah, you wanna provoke a lot of arguments, start talking parking garages. Oh, yeah.
Here we go again.
Okay, anything more? Do you want to go and look at those trees? I think I've seen those trees in the back. I don't think anything's going to happen until they decide what they're going to do with that.
Right, I got you guys all
With
the
the
plans.
building. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Fiore,
Second?
George,
Second.
seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. And thank you for showing up. And I'll have you around,
Our once-a-year member, if that. Our once-a-year member, if that. Yeah.
pardon, turn off your mic, turn off your microphone.
Don't say anything bad.